your testimony.
Okay, I will tell something about my travels before Christmas, and then you have to ask me questions because I want to know what you are interested about my experience. And so I'm from China. I'm Mena. Hi, I'm 22 years old. I'm from China, the part of China near Kazakhstan and Russia. So it's where the desert is, really center of Asia. And I grew up another 5 years in Beijing, where I finished my middle school. And then later I started to traveling, study in America, and now traveling around the world. I started now in my university in Boston. I came back to Italy for Christmas. And normally Christmas for me, it was only a Western culture. So I would know there is Christmas tree, you guys have gifts, you get together with family, you eat a big meal, and then you went to the mass. And that's something I always know. I experienced before because I spent the last Christmas actually in Spain. But this year was different because it was the first Christmas for me after my baptism. So it's no longer a cultural experience, but it's my own festival. And so that was something very special about this Christmas for me. I went to spend with my godmother and also with her family. It was really simple. For the first time, I feel included in this event because, like I said, it was part of my experience too, not just me as an outsider. Maybe like when you go to China, you experience the Chinese New Year. You only know that as a Chinese culture experience. But when that becomes yours, and then you realize that's completely, you're part of this. And it answered one of my questions actually for this year's, because I don't know where my home is. I used to think that's where my parents are, but I don't really know. After I met the friends in Italy, I started questioning, and it can be anywhere. And this Christmas, I realized it was really where those people who helped me with my faith, where my godparents are, and that could be a home too. And I don't know, it's this gaze. We always talk about the gaze, and I think I understood it was when my friends gave me that gaze, when my godparents, I see that in their family, I think that could be home. So first, being included in this festivals I never celebrated before, and also second, it's a feeling when I'm coming back to a place where I feel home. And same reason I come here to Spain to see my godfather. So that's my Christmas.
But why did you said that before this Christmas, it was only a cultural experience for you. And this time, it's been your experience. And why? Did you, hold on a second, please. Did you understand the difference between about what she said? She said her previous life, before this year, she understood what Christmas was, culturally. Presents, having dinner, having lunch together, all the Christmas trees, all the Christmas decoration. Well, whoever can understand that that's Christmas, culturally talking, culturally speaking. But now, this Christmas has been different for her. And why? This is my question. Why? Because Christmas trees are still there. Families are still having lunch together or dinner. Presents are still there. What's new for you? What has been new for you this year?
And I remember the one thing really amazed me is during the Advent, the 4 weeks I was starting to have my exams, and I started looking forward to going to Italy because I have a calendar and with the Advent, and then each weekend, each math, I can go to 3 math before I go to Italy. So it's the same hard to wait, and I think that was the same feeling. I didn't feel like, oh, I cannot wait to count down the dates until I go back to my friends. It's actually the same, it's a waiting, I don't know how to say, maybe it's the hope that the hope that will help you, and that kind of the heart of waiting. And that started the experience of Christmas. And religiously, I'm still trying to understand, to be honest, because my travel hasn't ended for this part.
No, but I think it's it will help if you explain to them why you decided to get baptized.
Okay, well, that's a really long story.
That's the origin.
Yeah, and I think, I know what I want to say. You know, when I grew up, I'm in a culture when they tell you to be really motivated to do work, to be the best. So I don't have brothers or sisters. I never understand what does it feel to punch your brother or sister with no worries.
They do.
You know, like you can grab your brothers and then just joke, play with your brother. That's feeling I don't have. And then I try not to be sad because I'm living by myself. The only way I talk to my parents is I want them to know I'm fine. So I realized I've been suppressing my feelings, and everything was okay. Every situation was okay. But that form of acceptance was not real because I know bottom of my heart I'm not living fully. So that's the reason why, biggest reason why, also the lesson I learned from this Christmas is I want to confront with people and confront with, maybe this is the humanity I start to read about. I mean, I read about that, describing in the literature a long time ago, but I never understand it in person, in my experience. So now I know once I open up myself, that's how I accept the Christianity. After baptism, I realized there's more pain because I no longer, when you are super happy, you know you're a moment you are super sad. And then the pain is more and more because I'm living by myself. And there's a huge contrast I start to feeling. But then that's actually what the most beautiful thing is, because I'm so happy, so excited to confront with people, to build relationship with people, and no longer close myself. And all those painful experiences are really joyful for me. And also bring back to why I realized this during Christmas, because all the things I've been doing are very simple with my godmother and godfather. Like during Christmas, I just go running with my godmother, help cooking, anything you would do with your family. And yesterday I saw my godfather. The only thing we did is we went to supermarket, we got grocery, and then we were cutting vegetables. But I knew I was so happy to be part of that. And I travel all the way from America to come here to do cutting the vegetables, and that was the most amazing experience ever.
Cutting vegetables in Spain.
Yeah, and also making mascarpone in Malaysia. Yeah. In italiano.
Cosa è stata la cosa che più ti ha sorpreso quando hai cominciato a conoscere cosa è il cristianesimo, quando hai cominciato a fare il catechismo?
Okay.
Christianism. The most interesting things about Christianism for her, the most shocking things, most important.
I would say the freedom I'm always looking for.
Freedom.
Because I used to think freedom is something you go wherever you want, you go wherever you go, and then you can do anything you want to do because you treat what your desire in, where you want to achieve it. And I did all of that. I went traveling, backpacking by myself, going to anywhere I wanted to go, and I didn't find it until I met until 3 years ago in Spain, where I met the movement. And I think that's the moment when I start to see people's life can be a unity. And so that is something I realized there. Not only people are happy, because that is something I was not looking for this kind of happiness. I was looking for some sort of freedom. And then I saw it inside of this simplicity. That was the reason why I started to do my catechism. And all the catechism I've been doing with the priest is we talk about Bob Dylan's song, and we talk about Jack Kerouac. Maybe that's too much for a 10-year-old to understand. But it was the most cool experience ever I had. I never talk about anything about the saints. I still didn't know a lot of doctrine, but I think that through that experience, we're directly talking about human experience. confronting with solitude, confronting with your emotions, confronting with this homeless feeling. And I think that was my cure, to cure my heart in a way.
So you can say that Jesus Christ has made things new.
Yeah, and make me complete. See?
And made her. Do you want to ask any questions to her? Anna Lu.
The experience that you had, this was happy and new, no?
Uh-huh.
And what more you feel when you experience like Christmas?
What experience I feel as a Christian?
What's your question? Is that your question? But she said that.
No. Yes, but
Freedom?
anymore.
Any more? Any more things?
Yes.
They want to listen to you more.
Everything is more, because before I thought I only want to do one thing, and then now realize that one thing becoming more things, because I learned a desire can break into more desires, and just the feeling of confronting, I look into myself more. And then that is just too many things to discover, because I think previously in my experience, I leave so many questions, I escaped so many questions, I couldn't find the answer. So I just left it, put it in a box, and you close it, and you threw it in, like, you know, imagine the ocean, you threw it down in your ocean, that's where I hide it, because I couldn't find the answer. And now I realized the meeting with a Christian experience is to open up each box. And I'm not really actually looking into where in the future, never. In looking to me now, but the part of me now is very important to discover what was those questions I didn't answer before. So that is more, definitely more. Yeah.
That's very interesting. We'll talk about this later. Any more questions?
Cosa è per te l'amicizia?
Oh, grande.
Prima cosa era per te gli amici, e adesso che cosa, insomma, è cambiato qualcosa?
Sì,
Separati, diciamo così.
Now I don't know if we're speaking in English, in Spanish, or in
Italian.
I have to translate it. Or Jesus asked her, what is friendship for her? What's the meaning of friendship for her? Friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship is the concept. We are friends. Friendship is the common noun.
So,
What was friendship for her? Well, they understand you.
and ever since I was little, I always move. My parents move, so I don't really have any friends. I don't have a friend I will stay with for longer than 5 years, 6 years. I don't have anyone. And this is just something happened to me, and then because my parents moved. And then I started traveling. And when you travel, you will meet a lot of interesting people. You will correspond with them very well. But then you know, next day they're not going to be around you. And plus, I'm the only child, so in a way, I always feel safe being by myself. So friends never get into a deeper relationship, never.
So not having friends was like a protection for you?
Yeah, it was a protection. Also, I thought it was normal, you know? How can people ever have friends that you can stay for more than 5 years? I never understood. So that's how I think about friends before. And that disappointed me a lot, because when I met people I want to go back to, maybe they don't value me the same. So when I travel all the way to a place and the people just, okay, I don't care you the same way that you care for us. So that make me realizing I don't believe in friendship before. I know that's a very critical, like radical thinking, but that's how I was believing it. And then actually it was the easiest way to do it, because it makes me easy to say bye and to go to the next place. Because I really moving around every half a year, I would say. And then so I don't want to feel sad when I leave you. So if I keep the distance, I will be happier, you know?
But I think you were sad, but you didn't
Yeah, that's a way I put a wall in front of me, because I don't want to feel the sadness when I leave. So I said, okay, we keep the distance. And that totally changed after last year in September, after baptism. And I got to understanding way better during this Christmas is those friends will wait for you wherever you are, and you come back to them, and then they are the one teaching you to open up. And
so you also learned that distance is not an obstacle for friendship.
Physical distance, but also that's why I said Christianism for me, it was a cure, because I built up the walls. For me, this distance is in my heart that I built in front of people. I'm still learning about how to be a good friend for the other, because I always think to love and to be loved is a real luxury for me. I thought about that. But now, especially last week, my godmother taught me this so much, that it's okay to have this desire to love and to be loved, because now I'm God's kids. See.
Any more questions? Do you understand what she's saying?
Yes.
Yes. But what?
When you are a friend of someone and someone goes to another place and that, yes, that to be like sad and that things, but it's a new opportunity to come to more friends and to come and learn to have a friend and distance. And for me, it's like I don't know, that have a friend a way is like fine because sad. Fine because you can learn and that things. So it's an opportunity that we need to learn and that things.
No, she's not saying that, but know that your friends are not going to be there for more than 5 years. That's what she meant. And now she's meeting friends that she knows are going to be there forever, even though they're not close to you.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different concept.
And also having friends is very different than know people. Of course, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people in my university, but these friends, what you call their friends, they're different. They're not the ones you spend all the time with, and they're the ones I don't know. They're the one you don't really need to see often at all, because everyone is living fully in their life, and they just help you. They just help you when you have I don't know. It is something I call home as well.
A friend.
Yeah, I mean, in this friendship, I understand way more about this friendship, and I start to believe in friends too. That's good, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's good?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
It's a hard work, being a translator. I know. I was thinking maybe it was too much. Sit down and record. Thank you. Anything else you want to know? Pilar, Luis Garcia, do you want to ask any questions?
I want to ask, how did you find Christianity? Who was the one who opened the door for you and his or her heart and home?
For
Christianism.
okay, it was
¿Cómo encontró el cristianismo? ¿Quién fue?
see, it was my godfather David. I met him when I was in university in Boston, and I wanted to come to Spain to travel. Like always, I'm always on the way. Has a problem with a visa, and then it was a random opportunity to encounter him. And what amazed me is he's really down to earth, really simple to approach me, to knowing how can I help you. And that's something really touched me. And I didn't understand that until after 1 month, 2 months, and after Spain, and I went back to my hometown. I lived with the Kazakh nomads, and then in the yurt, so in the middle of the mountains. And then at this moment, David sent me a message and say, how was Spain? Because he was not here when I came. And I said, wow, it's an amazing experience. I met a lot of people. And then I took a selfie with all the nomads, the people I didn't know. I just stayed with them for 2 weeks. And I took a picture, and David said, oh, how's your family? Are those your family? I said, no, that's not my family. And then I just told him, yeah, I'm really interested in the people living in the yurts and raising goats. So I went to find them. And then he asked me, what is your passion for life? And that's very, wow. No one ever, I just thought it was normal to go there to know them, but no one ever asked me, what is your passion for life? And then we started the conversation when I was in China, when he was in London. And then he told me about this curiosity that there's something can make it last. And then I carried this question all the way until we meet in Boston. And that's the moment when I realized in front of me there's a person whose life, and then you can be smart to be really good in academics, and you can be so down to earth to people, and then your life is so full, and then this curiosity will never end. And all these things are together, because before for me it was separate, and now it's a little bit separate too, but I found this peace. That's what sort of thing I first met about Christianism. I'm still trying to understand because I'm a newborn, so.
She's only one.
No, 5 months.
5.
Yeah.
So now you've noticed, now that you're grown up, that something was missing there, right? It's not, your parents' education was right, but there was something important missing.
I would understand why. I don't feel it was something missing. I think I'll always look outwards. So in that sense, I'm not really missing anything. But then in a way, you asked me what is more about Christianism. It's a way, I think before I try to confront with all the knowledge I have like this. But then after meeting Christianism, I feel like it was suddenly, me is still this big, but then it's on the other side. So that outwards conversion, because driven by this curiosity, but I feel like it was also full too. But then there's always be a source to drive me to expand, like to grow, I guess. And that grow, instead of going this way, is going this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
To tell us your story.
And what is your name? Anastasia. Thank you for your question.
Thanks for coming.
Facciamo selfie? Va bene? Facciamo selfie Polaroid.
Oh yeah.